In this video, we're going to discuss the conversion of units, specifically the US measurements. And what I mean by that is being able to convert between feet and yards, miles and feet, pints and gallons, pounds and ounces, that type of thing. We're going to stick with the conversion of US measurements for right now. In other videos, we will do the metric units, which includes meters, liters, and grams. And then we'll also discuss how to convert between the two systems. So whenever we're converting between measurements, you'll notice here I've given a chart of 1 yard equals 3 feet, 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. What this is these are going to be our ratios that we're going to use. And whenever we're converting, we have a ratio, and the units we're converting from, go on the denominator. The units to are going to go on the numerator. So for example, if I want to go from feet to miles, since I'm starting with feet, my conversion factor is going to have feet on the bottom. Let me erase that because I've got a little bit of an extra there. Okay, so we're converting from feet to miles, and notice that up here 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. So 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. So whenever we use this conversion factor, this is going from feet to miles. The reason why we do that is so we can cancel out the units. Let's look at some examples for this and see what I'm talking about. So I want to convert 19,536 feet into miles. So if you look at that conversion chart again, it says that 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. Okay. When we set these up, what we're going to do is we're going to start out with the amount we're starting with, 19,536 feet. We're just going to put it over 1. And then notice my feet are on the numerator here. They need to go in the denominator on my conversion factor. That way, using our rules of fractions and multiplication and simplifying, we can simplify those units and divide them out. So that means I'm going to have 5,280 feet on the denominator and 1 mile on the numerator. Again, this allows me to cancel out my feet, leaving me only with miles. And then I'm going to multiply straight across. So I'll get 19,536 over 5,280, leaving me with only miles. And whenever I do that division, I'm going to get 3.7 miles. Therefore, 19,536 feet is the same thing as 3.7 miles. Now, converting is extremely useful on many levels. Some of it may be that items only come in feet, or we can only measure in miles, that type of thing. And so we use conversions quite a bit. So let's look at if I have 9 yards equaling how many inches. This one, if you notice, I don't have a yard to inch ratio. I have 1 yard is equal to 3 feet, and then I have 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. I don't have it where it goes straight from yards to inches. Now, some of you may notice that 1 yard is 36 inches because multiply the 3 times the 12. That works as well. I'm going to show you here how to use double conversions, where we can't go straight from one to the other. I'm again going to start with my 9 yards over 1. And since I'm wanting to go from yards, I'm going to put yards on the denominator. And I'm going to look and see, okay, I have 1 yard equals 3 feet. So 1 yard and 3 feet. This way I can cancel out my yards, leaving me only with feet. But I want to go to inches, so I'm going to add another conversion factor out here. I'm going to put feet on the denominator so that they're opposite, and I'll put inches on the numerator. So I've got 1 foot, and that should be 12 inches. So times 12 inches. And that allows me to cancel out the units of feet, leaving me only with inches. So I'm going to multiply 9 times 3 times 12, and I will get 324 inches over 1. So that means that it's 324 inches. So 9 yards is 324 inches. Okay, let's look at ounces, pounds, gallons, that type thing. So I want to go from 5.5 pounds into the number of ounces. So again, if I look at my conversion chart, I see that 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. So I'm going to start with 5.5 pounds over 1. And since I have pounds on the numerator, I want pounds on the denominator. So I'm going to have 1 pound on the denominator and 16 ounces on the numerator. I get to simplify my pounds. And then I'm going to multiply 5.5 times 16, which gives me 88. So I've got 88 ounces over 1, so that's 88 ounces. 5.5 pounds is the same thing as 88 ounces. Let's look at gallons to pints. This is another one where I don't have a direct 1 gallon equals so many pints. I have 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts, and 1 quart is equal to 2 pints. Again, some of you may say, okay, so 1 gallon is equal to 8 pints, and use that single conversion. That is perfectly fine. I'm going to do the double conversion, starting with 9 gallons over 1. Since I'm going from gallons, I'm going to put the gallons on the denominator, and I'm going to use 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. I can simplify my units. I've got quarts, but I want pints. So now I'm going to put the quarts on the denominator so that those 2 units can cancel and have 2 pints. So I'm going to cancel out the quarts, and that's going to leave me with 9 times 4 times 2. So 9 times 4 is 36, times 2 is 72 pints over 1. So 9 gallons is the same thing as 72 pints. Now I want to do some addition and subtraction with these. When we're working with units, we have to be a little bit careful. It's the same thing as where we have variables. We combine the same variable, like terms, with like terms. So we're going to do the same thing here. I've got 5 feet 2 inches plus 4 feet 3 inches. So I'm just going to line them up, and we're going to say that 5 feet 2 inches plus, I'm going to line up 4 feet and 3 inches. I'm going to add my inches, I'm going to add my feet. So adding my inches, I get 5 inches. Adding my feet, I get 9 feet. So 4 feet 2 inches plus, 5 feet 2 inches plus 4 feet 3 inches that gives me 9 feet 5 inches. The only thing about addition and subtraction is you have to be careful. Do you have enough in the feet left over to make, inches to make another foot? This particular case, no, because it takes 12 inches to make a foot. But if you do, it's just like having a mixed number with an improper fraction. We can't leave it that way, okay? Let's look at this 18 pounds minus 12 pounds 2 ounces. So that's going to give me 18 pounds minus 12 pounds 2 ounces. Here's where we end up having to borrow some, because I can't take 0 minus 2. I can't take that. So what I have to do is I have to borrow an entire pound. 1 pound equals 16 ounces. And since I borrowed 1, I now have 17 pounds. Minus my 12 pounds 2 ounces. Now I can take 16 minus 2, leaving me with 14 ounces, and 17 minus 12, leaving me with 5 pounds. So 18 pounds minus 12 pounds 2 ounces is going to end up leaving me with 5 pounds 14 ounces. We just have to be careful. You could change these all into ounces and then subtract, but then you would have to convert back. So that kind of leaves me with a little bit of a dilemma there as far as how to add and subtract. So work on the converting US measurements, and then let me know if you have any problems.